Hello guys and welcome back. As I promised, I am trying to get more on top of these videos. So I ended up doing an impromptu rehouse for my Chilobrachys Huahini. I hadn't seen her out in bloody ages. So I decided that I'd have a little poke around and see if she was still in there. I ended up having to dig out the whole thing, and she was tucked right down at the bottom of the burrow, alive and well. So they are fossorial species, so you don't tend to see them out very often anyway. I would quite often see her coming out in the evening looking for something to eat, possibly going for a bit of a drink. But she's not been seen for months and months. So we decided to have a bit of a dig around. We found her and we've given her home a refresh and a whole new look. And now that I've got some lighting, we've gone for something a bit more bioactive. Any thoughts or comments you've got on my setup, please do leave it in the comments below. Enough of me talking. I'll show you what I've done. So I picked up this tank thingy here off of eBay a couple of years ago, probably I think it was about £10–15. I've no idea on the measurements, I've never measured it, but I would guess something along the lines of 30 by 30 by 45 on the length. It originally had glass shelves in there, so I assume it was originally meant for keeping rodents or something like that in, but it works perfectly for this now the shelves are removed. All of this substrate in here is mostly cocoa fibre. That's all come from the enclosure originally. With this cork bark tube, I am placing it down in this corner with the hope and intention that once she makes a burrow in there, the burrow will be up against the glass and I should hopefully be able to get a good look at what's going on. As I mentioned earlier, and if you don't know, they are a fossorial species, which means that they do tend to burrow. I followed Dave's Little Beastie's advice with my last enclosure with this, and we kind of went shallower in the hope that she obviously didn't need to have a massive burrow, and it did work quite well. But as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I hadn't seen her for ages, so digging up time happened, and I thought I'd just try something a little bit different with this. Again, as per Dave's Little Beasties, I'm becoming a big fan of foraging, so a lot of the stuff that's going in here is things that I've found whilst out foraging. Some of that moss there, that's stuff that I found previously, it is dried out and probably dead. That piece of wood with the moss on there, that's also something that I foraged from outside. I will be using that plant that I mentioned in my last video, the hydrocotyle, that's going in here. I'm hoping that it goes a bit crazy, but we'll see how it does. We've also got some foraged moss, which is going in just here now. All sorts. More moss. There is... oh, what do I put in here? We put a little green spider plant, which you'll see shortly. And I can't remember the name of it, but I think the common name is Wandering Jew, which you can see just over in the corner there in the top right. And guys, don't forget, if you've got any comments that you'd like to leave, please do. Any kind of constructive criticism, I'm more than happy to take on board. If you like or dislike what I'm doing with this enclosure, just let me know. As with all planted enclosures, don't forget to give everything a good watering in. You've got to give your plants a good start from the beginning, and then we can look to hopefully keep everything alive. Here is the finished product. I really quite like it. I don't know what you guys think. Hopefully all of the mosses, all of the plants grow in nicely, and it should hopefully look absolutely fantastic. And here is the lady herself. I bought her as an adult female from the spider shop, and she was gravid. If you look back through my videos, you'll see what happened with the egg sac that I got from her. My research on these leads me to believe that for females, you could expect them to live for 12 to 15 years, males roughly around 4. They originate from Thailand and Malaysia. They are they're a very fast species, they're a very defensive species, or certainly can be. I have to say, I did not get, and haven't had, throughout the whole of this process, a single threat pose from this spider. Doing my best to follow the be calm, be gentle, love your spider mantra. She was absolutely fine. Now, whilst I'm doing this, I am still an arachnophobe. So I have got the lid closed for the most part on this. So I am just going to be sort of gently trying to move her around. And as I say, we don't get a single threat pose. Nothing of the sort. She's actually really well behaved. So here's where I'm trying to follow the Dave's Little Beastie's advice, trying to sort of, as best I can, maintain constant contact with the paintbrush so that I'm not jabbing away and annoying her. She's determined that she doesn't want to move. I have to say, for as much as you can, try to sort of use this method if you need to sort of move your tarantula along, but from my experience, this doesn't always work, and it will very much depend on the mood that your spider is in at the time. I've tried this with other spiders before, and the instant reaction is just to turn around and attack the paintbrush. If you don't know anything about tarantulas, tarantulas can change their mood just the same as any other animal. They can change their mood from one molt to the next. That friendly spider that you think that you know and that you've handled, and not that I recommend handling a Chilobrachys Huahini or any Chilobrachys for that matter, that spider that you've handled in the past, it can suddenly change and become a nightmare of a tarantula. So bear that in mind. Now, a lot of people do think of these as being one of the boring brown tarantulas, but I mean, think when you get a closer look here, there are some really nice patterns, and there's some really nice shades of brown, and they're a huge spider, really. I mean, she's probably the size of my outstretched palm, and I fit a large size glove, so she's a decent sized spider. My expectation on this rehousing was that she was going to bolt around a lot and then try to find a burrow. She hasn't done that at all. She's stuck there on the glass, as you can see, thinking she's arboreal. So this is 24 hours later. She's climbed around everywhere. She's laid some web down right by the mouth of the burrow that I was hoping she was going to use, but she has spent so far all of this time set up the back there. And so that is my lot for this week's video. I am going to start working on doing a collection tour. So the next video I might try to start possibly with my dwarf species, which I'm starting to collect more of. So that's something to look forward to. It depends how many of them I can get out. Maybe that'll be a little series of a collection tour bit by bit. I do want to get a little bank of videos together just so as I've got something where I can actually start releasing weekly, get that all together. I do have tons of footage that I just need to sort through to come up with something else there as well. But yeah, that's all for this week. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Like I say, any comments that you've got, good or bad, please leave them down in the comment section below. Any advice, tips, anything like that, just share it down there in the comments. And I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.